So when you first log into the data, well, actually, you don't have to log in. When you first enter the database, the screen that welcomes you will look like this. And so in order to use the database, you'll have to have access to the questionnaire that the participants in the study actually filled out. And so the questionnaire looks like this. And again, basically what the questionnaire contains are several dozen, like 80 or so questions that asked the participants whether they were exposed to different things that may or may not contribute to a person becoming a regular smoker. And so there's, like, again, 80 questions that deal with a whole bunch of different factors that could contribute to smoking. And we're just kind of scrolling through the questions right now really quickly. Towards the end of the questionnaire, there are questions dealing with the participants' genotypes. So the researchers in the study identified like 5 genes that may contribute to someone becoming a regular smoker, and all of these genes encode for receptors or enzymes that have some role in the nicotine dopamine pathway. And so basically what these questions ask is whether each participant is homozygous or heterozygous for each one of these loci. So if you have this questionnaire handy, then you'll be able to make sense of the database. And so basically the way this works, so say that you are someone who's interested in mining the database, and you have a hypothesis that having at least one parent that smokes increases the likelihood of becoming a regular smoker. And so if that's the hypothesis you come up with, the first thing to do is to take a look at the questionnaire and see if there's a question on here that pertains to the hypothesis that you made. And I've actually pre-screened it, and it turns out that if you look at all the questions, question number 26 on the questionnaire relates directly to the hypothesis that we just made. So 26 says, while you're growing up, how many of your parents or guardians smoked? And so if you have come up with a hypothesis, and then if you have found a question in the questionnaire that might help you address your hypothesis, then you're ready to use the database. And so here's how you do that. So the first thing to do is click on the Explore Data tab. And when you do that, it asks you to select a question number. And so this is the question on the questionnaire that, again, pertains to the hypothesis that you just made. So again, the question on the questionnaire that relates to our hypothesis is question number 26. So then that's the question number you select at this part. And so once you've entered 26, then you click Retrieve Data. Okay, so then taking a look at this data that we just retrieved, so to make sense of this then, so remember that cases, that's in this particular study, cases are the people who have tried smoking and then subsequently went on to become regular smokers. The controls in the study were people who have tried smoking but did not become regular smokers. And then these are then represent what the parent situation was like in regards to smoking. So for example, what this row tells you here is that out of the people in the study who tried smoking and went on to become regular smokers, 21 of them did not have any parents that smoked. Out of the people in the study who tried smoking and then did not become a regular smoker, 49 of those people did not have parents who smoked. And so, and then you can figure out what the rest of this information in the table means. So once you have this information in front of you, you can then go on to see if there's any reason to believe that your hypothesis is supported. And so here's how you do that. You click on odds ratio, and these first two things you don't really have to type in order to view your data, but just to make it easier to follow, it's a good idea to type it in. So our research question was, does having at least one parent who smokes increase the likelihood of becoming a smoker? And then for the hypothesis, we can just say having at least one parent who smokes increases likelihood of becoming a smoker. And in this particular example, we want to see everyone in the population. This again explains who the cases are and who the controls are. In this particular hypothesis, the exposure, in other words, the people who are exposed, are those who have at least one parent who smokes. And those who aren't exposed are those whose parents do not smoke. And then below each little box here, so below the exposed box, it tells you to enter the question number with answers options separated by commas. And so basically what it's asking you to do here is to enter the question and answer choices that reflect what you just typed in for the exposed. So in this example, the exposed are the people who have at least one parent who smokes. And so if you look back on the questionnaire, question number 26, answer choices B and C reflect people who have at least one parent that smokes. So then that's what you type in here. So those are the answer choices that correspond to your actual exposed here. So it's question number 26, answer choices B and C. The same idea here. So it asks you to enter a question number and an answer option. And for the not exposed, again, these are the people whose parents do not smoke. So if you look at the questionnaire, the answer choice that corresponds to that is 26A, right? So if they answer this, then these are people who don't have parents that smoke. So that's what you type in here, 26A. And then once you do that, you click Retrieve Data.